All right, guys. I think I'll make a video eventually describing where I came from in terms of poker and how I've matured as a poker player. But I guess some general details are in line. I'm 23 years old, um, and I used to play poker a lot throughout university, but it was mainly tournaments and cash games. And only recently have I discovered heads up poker. And what intrigued me a lot about heads up poker was the inherent skill that's needed to succeed at this game. There are many aspects of this game that need to be mastered, and it's just so easy to play a tournament. And I'm not saying tournaments are bad, and the fact that uh, you don't need a lot of skill to play them, but in tournaments, it can be very standard at times. Very what's the word? Machine-like to play in a tournament to a certain degree. While I guess an easy way for me to describe it is when uh, when tournaments are like when tournaments. I guess I'm gonna say, like, I consider heads up poker to be an art form, and I consider tournaments to not be an art form, or to be a lesser form of art form. So here we have tens um, against an unknown opponent. Whoops. Flop comes down really healthy for us, so we're gonna make a very healthy C bet um, to hopefully get a call out of the guy, but taking it down is okay as well. Um, as I always say, we will be playing fairly standard until our opponent gives us a reason to change our behavior. But he is limping his buttons, so it's nice to know that he's giving us a chance to play a fairly standard game against us. And here, he does min raise us. Given how he's passively calling, it's hard. I don't mind checking here, just flatting and letting him bet the turn and to essentially three bet him again. But we are going to stick to that line of thinking where we're going to play pretty ABC. We're going to try to get as much money as we can in the pot when we are winning, and we'll just leave it to that. Maybe he'll make a mistake here, and he does flat us. And if he has ace 9 here, kudos to him. Hopefully he is the jack, and in the worst case scenario, he has the pocket deuces. So we will bet a sizable amount here, basically essentially committing him to the hand. And it's my belief that that ace scared him off. So unfortunate in that regard. But when we four bet him on the flop there, it's my hope that he goes over the top of us and we get the money in, and he shows up with Jack X, or in a lesser scenario, 9X. But keeping that mindset in mind, where we're trying to play fairly standard and try to get ourselves into easy situations. So 8-10 here. We raised it pre, and it comes Jack 5-5, suited into hearts. Again, a flop where players will tend to play fit or fold, especially when they're getting low on chips. So we take it down. Here we have queens. We'll make it 70. Normally I would make it 4x, but I see my opponents will tend to fold more likely to 4x as opposed to 3x, and so with that said, I want to keep him in the hand when we have the queens here. We do see bet here, and again, one of those flops where he's probably not going to have anything, but we cannot risk checking to him because if he checks behind and a not so pretty card like a king comes on the turn, we'll be put in a very we'll be put into a spot where we really don't want to. We're an undesirable spot. Sorry, I've been talking all day today. All right, so king 5 here. Gonna check it to him. I'll take my king high for its showdown value for now. He overbets it, so another clue as to what kind of player this is. And like I said before, all players at these limits will tend to be god awful. And if you can employ just a naturally fine ABC game, then you'll more or less have a decent ROI at these stakes. King high board here. We'll lead out and see what happens. If he flat calls us, we're just going to let it go unless we hit something. So the king comes. So I really do not recommend firing again, because if he has a king, he's clearly not going away. If he has a 6 or even a 3, he's still not going away. And so I don't mind checking that. Checked again pretty quickly, eh? We will fire out on the ace high, only because I think he's holding one of these 2 cards here. And if the king is, we can't bet a king there because he's calling, but when the ace comes, it's going to be more likely that he'll be inclined to fold. And I don't mind risking the 120 chips there to pretend like we have the ace against someone who's shown us that he's basically pretty weak. So he min raises us here. First time. I'm going to say he has a really, really strong hand, but as in poker, hands change, and, you know, boom, that's huge. We're just going to click it back. And maybe he'll do so. Yeah. So another option was to flat call and then call any shove. But when he bets so big, when he bets 280 into a $80 pot, my immediate reaction is that he does have the ace. And with that said, you know, a min raise would mean he's committed. But then again, had he bet smaller, then I might be more inclined to just flat him and check raise him on the turn. But you know, in that particular situation, you know, he showed us that he didn't have the ace there. So I guess we just leveled ourselves in that respect. So our 10 high wins in this hand. Good to know. Pocket 4s here. Just gonna make 3x. Hopefully he goes over the top of us, which he doesn't. You know, he's taking a while here. I'm not one for timing tells too often.